Èdè Yorùbá jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára àwọn èdè tí wọ́n ń sọ ní agbègbè Niger Congo. Èdè Yorùbá gbajúgbajà ní àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè tó ń bẹ ní ẹkùn ìwọ̀ oòrùn ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀. Ó kéré tán, àwọn ènìyàn bíi mílíọ̀nù 14 ló ń sọ èdè Yorùbá lónìí. Ètò akọ́mọlédè ló ń dé sójú ìwòran yín láti iléeṣẹ́ móhùnmáwòrán WSTV ìkànnì 150 channel 190 lórí Star Times. Folúṣọ́ Ayaolúwagbémiga, ìyá ìjọ pèdèpèdè, ìyá akọ́mọlédè ló kọ tèmi. Yorùbá dùn púpọ̀, Yorùbá ò lè kú, Yorùbá ò lè parun. Tiwa làṣà, tiwa lèdè, tiwa nìṣẹ̀ṣe akọ́mọlédè.
Atótó arére.
Kò ṣeé má gbọ́ ìròyìn.
Turn it up! It's the Wild Wild West. And Western Spring Television is pulling out all the stops to make sure that you don't miss out on every of the fun and happenings around you. Yup, we've got you covered because your girls got all the juiciest tips.
Western Spring Television, ours it is.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Spring on Western Spring Television, where we give you stories making headlines in the world of sports. My name is Joseph ATEWE, saying good morning and welcome. What a weekend we had from the British Grand Prix to England lifting the Under-21 European Championship. Welcome once again.
And I am NENGI Ernest Ademola. Good morning and thanks for joining us on the Monday edition of Sports Spring on Western Spring Television. Indeed, it was a weekend packed full of so many events, especially in the world of unlimited sports. Max Verstappen was able to break the jinx. Of course, they've not won any Grand Prix right there in the British Grand Prix since 2012, but Max Verstappen, due to his dominance, was able to start at pole position and get his 6th successive victory for the 2023 Formula One season. Elsewhere, we know that the Tigers of Nigeria defeated Mali in the ongoing African Championship. And all of this and more is what we're dishing out to you this morning. Welcome on board once again.
All right, let's start from the locals. And we'll start with the Super 8 in that one, where we know Sochima has handed Vade Lobby Stars a win in that game. Then let's talk about the Super 8 and how it stands right now.
Of course, starting from the local scene, the Niger Super 8 is currently up and running, and a horrendous goalkeeping error in stoppage time by Victor Sochima allowed Lobby Stars come from behind to nick a 2-1 win over Rivers United in the second Group B game of the Nigeria Super 8 at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena on Saturday. Now, the Super Eagles goalkeeper spilled a low cross in between his legs, which allowed striker Charles Chibuike fire into an empty net to give Lobby Stars their very first win of the tourney. Now, after a frenetic half an hour, which saw chances created at both ends, Albert Kova broke the deadlock for Rivers United in the 31st minute after his shot was deflected beyond the Lobby Stars goalkeeper Lucky Jimo, to hand the Pride of Rivers the advantage in the break. And both sides sustained the pressure for more goals in the second half, but it was Lobby Stars who got the equalizer in the 71st minute through a half volley from one of their new additions in person of David Okoromi. Aside from that, that was not the only match being played during the weekend. Aside from that, we know that Sporting FC of Lagos was denied a win in their very first one, and that goal was denied by John Noble. Now, Enyimba's goalkeeper John Noble saved the penalty as the People's Elephants settled for a goalless draw against newly promoted Nigerian Premier League side Sporting Lagos in their second game of the Nigeria Super 8 tournament at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Lagos on Sunday. The Super Eagles keeper made an easy catch of Rabiu's 75th minute spot kick to deny them a chance of stealing a famous victory towards the end of the game after Chigozie Chileku impeded a Sporting player in the box. Now, Noble's heroics won him the Hero of the Match award, but the outcome of the game wasn't enough for Enyimba, who needed to reignite their challenge after losing their first game against Remo Stars on Friday. Meanwhile, George Finidi's side at bottom of Group A with 1 point from 2 matches, while Sporting have 1 point from 1 match. So Remo Stars currently is topping the Group A table for the Nigeria Super 8, currently going on with 4 points, followed by Katsina United 1 point, Sporting Lagos 1 point, and of course, George Finidi's side, that's Enyimba FC, 1 point. That is how it stands for Group A table in the Nigeria Super 8 that is currently ongoing right there in Lagos.
All right, from this angle, I'll be giving you all the latest when it comes to transfers on the local scene. We know that Flying Eagles of Nigeria, midfielder Daniel Daga, has confirmed an approach from major European teams for his services. Now, despite Nigeria crashing out of the quarterfinals, at the quarterfinal stage, of the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Argentina, Daga was one of the outstanding players in the tournament. Now, the energetic midfielder reviewed the approach while speaking on a radio show in Lagos. He says Angeles, Club Brugge, AC Milan, Liverpool, and FC Midtjylland are all interested in signing Daga. Yes, many clubs are interested, Angeles and Club Brugge in particular. There are also interest from Liverpool, AC Milan, Watford, and Midtjylland. It confirmed on the radio show.
Well, a good one coming right there from Daga, but still on the transfer news. Let's give you local transfer news as it is. Now, for the Nigerian Premier League transfer news, we do know that Habib Yakub has joined Remo Stars FC. I think this man played for the Sunshine Stars, and currently the news we are getting from the NPFL News Twitter account is that Habib Yakub has joined Remo Stars FC. And aside from that, we know that Junior Lokosa is done and dusted. The transfer deal is done and dusted, and he has now joined Sporting Lagos, and Lokosa is set to receive 700,000 monthly. He joins Sporting Lagos as a free agent after his contract with Remo Stars ran out. So the mostly the names of Remo Stars and of course Sporting Lagos are all in the lips of everyone as it comes in the transfer window. Now, one player leaves, another player replaces, so it is done. So what we have right now is that Junior Lokosa has gone to Sporting Lagos and is to receive 700,000 monthly. Meanwhile, Habib Yakub has joined Remo Stars FC also.
Well, I'm happy for Junior Lokosa. We watched him play. I had one cab alongside Tosi Omoyele. Tosi Omoyele played for United before he moved, and they were part of that squad that played Atletico Madrid, led by Fernando Torres before he retired, right here in Nigeria. And, you know, from there, we thought it was going to explode, you know, go to a bigger club. But I'm happy that he's still active. 700,000 naira per month for a footballer. That is totally unfair, in my own opinion, but then that is what the club can afford at this point. That is why I say all the time that if these clubs weren't run by the government, run by private owners.
Private sectors, yeah.
Trust me, there'll be any more. But then one step at a time, I believe.
Of course.
Let's travel to Australia and talk about the girls. We reported last week, Friday, that the girls were planning a protest, but then that has been cleared, Nengi.
Of course,
that
has been cleared currently. And talking about that one, recall that we did bring you this news last week. Was on Punch newspaper circulating and making the rounds. But currently, we do know that the captain of the Super Falcons of Nigeria, Onome AB, has denied the story by a leading Nigerian newspaper that the 9-time African champions are threatening to boycott their FIFA Women's World Cup opening game against Canada in Melbourne on Friday, 21st of July. Now, according to her, AB told the NFF.com at the team's training camp in Gold Coast, Australia on Saturday morning that, in a words, and I quote, "I have no idea where that is coming from. We, the players, never had any such conversations as regards that. We are good with training and ready for the World Cup." The defender, who is featuring in our 6th FIFA World Cup finals, added that the team's training session have been intense but interesting as they look forward to their Group B encounters against Olympic champions Canada, co-host Australia, and debutant Republic of Ireland. That is how it is when it comes to the women's Super Falcons team, according to preparations.
All right, so just to clear the air for you, because we reported on Friday, and if we're giving information, it has to be from a credible source. Now, what she's saying from a popular newspaper, a credible source, it's the Punch newspaper that reported.
Of course, and I think they got that from the NFF communication department.
Yeah.
I also
so just to clear the air, it's the Punch that told us.
Just to clear the air, and it's still the Punch reporting from the NFF communications department, just to clear the air concerning the bonus roles as it concerns the Super Falcons. Now, still concerning the FIFA Women's World Cup, if I'm not mistaken, right here, 12 days to go or 13 days to go to the FIFA Women's World Cup, and still on bonus roles so far.
The Lionesses are still talking.
It's not just the Super Falcons experiencing this. It's not just the Canadian women or the Bayana women experiencing this.
Is it me, or maybe women just have issues naturally?
No, women do not have issues. It has to do with the administrators. It's as simple as ABC. They are requesting for something. Why not get a meeting? Sit them down. If you have reasons why, if you have reasons why you cannot give them what they are requesting. What are they requesting?
Okay, but
it's just bonuses. That's all.
Relax now. The guys the guys were asking for $5,000 per match from the NFF, and they settled this amicably. And now I know they get $7,000 to $10,000 per game.
Thank God you said amicably, because it seems like in the women's world, no one wants to really listen to them.
They don't make enough money like they do from the men.
That is it. You have to call, if you want to call it, it's as simple as that. If you know you cannot afford that,
I should pump in 2 million.
If you know you cannot afford that, Joseph,
in return I'm getting 500,000. What sense does it make?
Wait, if you know you cannot afford that, probably this is not clear to the women's team. Wait, probably this is not clear to the women's team. You call a meeting, just like you said that the guys always settle things amicably. That is what it seems right now.
We'll stay here tonight talking about
call a roundtable meeting and tell them what is at stake. Tell them how it is being run.
It is well.
And definitely we might get, a clear picture of everything and rest.
Okay.
Exactly. It's as simple as that. Well, let's get into details concerning the Lionesses. Now, the Lionesses were welcomed, blessed with luck, and had the bad spirits warded off by a traditional gooby ceremony.
Sorry to cut you. The Lionesses were welcome, blessed with luck, with the goody booty and all this.
Gooby. Well, there is no doubt this England team acknowledge and are thankful for the opportunity which awaits them in Australia. But for this group who made history at last summer's Euros, success hasn't been only about winning on and off the pitch for them. It is about the future generations. Now, using their platform to claim bigger victories, this time challenging their own employees, the Football Association, over World Cup win bonuses. And the FIFA rule change for this World Cup will see players earn a set bonus irrespective of the nation that they play for. But the England team feel that the FA should also be rewarding them. So according to Barcelona and England defender Lucy Bruns, she said to the Sky Sports in Awards, and I quote, "I think a lot of these issues happen in women's football, not just for our team. There are many teams where players or associations or teams are having to fight to make changes in the game." And of course, change is the only thing constant in life. And so let's see how it pans out to be.
Just before we move to the next story, I hope this will sink into the head and to every woman watching here that there can never be equality. You can have equity, but it can never be equality. And that is what these girls are fighting for. That's not
what they're fighting
which
for.
Which can never happen.
It's just equity. Give them the match bonuses. Okay, it will be settled.
And that's what the US
if it won't work out,
is doing?
If it won't work out, then tell them. That's all.
Because they won't listen.
Don't push them away. That's what I'm saying. They're not getting that attention at this point. Okay. That is why it's always all over the social media platforms and all of that. So give them attention. If you want to explain to them, and it will be over. Honestly.
Explain to a woman like that.
Yes.
Nigerian football star Super Falcons forward Asisat Oshola has been named as a nominee for the prestigious 2023 Ballon d'Or. And the announcement was made by France Football, the organizers of the award, via its official Twitter handle on the 7th of July. Oshola has been nominated in the Socrates Award category, which recognizes outstanding solitary actions carried out by football champions. She is one of the 5 individuals shortlisted for the award, which was established last year and named after the legendary Brazilian footballer Socrates. Now joining Oshola as nominees in the category are Vinicius Junior, Brazil and Real Madrid, Antonio Rudiger, Germany, Real Madrid, Marcus Rashford, England, Manchester United, and Alex Morgan, the United States, and son Diego Wave. We wish Asisat Oshola all the best.
Of course, we wish her all the best. I understand why you're chuckling at this point in time.
That category, you know. But then anything is possible. I've watched the goal. Yeah. I've watched the goal actually. And to be honest with myself, because I don't like to deceive myself, I think he might go to Vinicius Junior or Marcus Rashford, that beautiful goal.
Of course.
But then anything is possible. But then being nominated alone
spells a lot about your achievements and performances.
But
exactly.
You know, when the news broke out that Asisat Oshola has been nominated for the Ballon d'Or, I thought she was nominated as the best footballer. So we had to check. And of course, correct our viewers, because that's the report out there that she's among the top 3 in the world. Do you understand? So, but then it's a good one. She's been nominated. And as we said earlier, I wish her all the best. Anyways,
just to give you an update before we get further into other stories, the camp in Gold Coast swelled with the arrival of CSK Moscow star Francisca Odega from Russia. And of course, currently the Super Falcons are complete. They are now 22 players in Australia for the FIFA Women's World Cup. And they're still awaiting Rosengard midfielder Halimatu Ainde from Sweden. This was one a day ago. Now, let's get into other stories as it concerns the king of sports, talking about football. Now, Morocco, Egypt, and Mali are the 3 countries that will fly African flags in the male football event at the 2024 Olympics in France. Now, Morocco labored hard to defeat Egypt in the final of the 2023 CAF Under-23 African Nations Cup, while beat Guinea in a 3rd-place game to win the bronze via penalty shootout. Now, Morocco made history on Saturday night as they clinched their first Total Energies Under-23 African Cup of Nations title with a thrilling 2-1 win against 10-man Egypt at the Monday Abdallah Stadium in Rabat, requiring extra time to settle the match. Now, Egypt took an early lead when Mahmoud Sabah unleashed a brilliant curler into the top corner, giving his team an advantage after just 9 minutes of play. Now, despite being reduced to 10 men, Egypt managed to hold their ground for the remaining minutes of regular time. However, their defense faltered in the 37th minute, allowing Yanis Bragro to score the equalizer for the host nation. So congratulations to them for getting the Under-23 AFCON trophy at the spot.
Let's talk about Kelechi Iheanacho. Is wanted by so many clubs, but then one notable name, NENGI. You know, we reported some weeks ago that is wanted by AC Milan. And at a point, the same popular newspaper that told us they were planning a protest, the Super Falcons told us that Kelechi was on the verge of moving to AC Milan, but then we hear he's not going to AC Milan at the moment.
I think
even Samuel Chukwueze's move is also in jeopardy at the moment. So Kelechi is going to where?
Kelechi, according to what the news is telling us this morning, is that he has gained interest from the likes of Nottingham Forest. Now, Leicester City striker Kelechi Iheanacho has been linked with a surprise move to Nottingham Forest this summer. Now, Iheanacho returned to a pre-season training at Seagrave last Friday after having an extra few days off following his involvement in Nigeria's international games in June. The striker is one of a few players who have just a year remaining on their contract at the King Power Stadium, that's Leicester City. And according to French journalist Santi Auna, Forest has opened talks to sign Iheanacho this summer. He also adds that Steve Cooper's side wants to close the deal in the coming days. This means the club is prepared to cash in instead of losing him for nothing this time next year. So as it is, we'll follow it closely, keep tabs on it, and bring you updates as it unfolds. So
the question remains, does it fit into the Nottingham Forest squad? Yes, it fits in perfectly because we have a Taiwo Awoniyi who is not half as good as Kelechi is, and I say it again, it's not as good as Kelechi, and I'm being honest here. Scoring goals at Nottingham Forest at the City Stadium. So bringing the Kelechi Iheanacho, who at some point was in form, banked in 7 goals in 4 matches for Leicester City. At the point at the King Power Stadium, he had a big portrait of Kelechi with the fans chanting his name. So if he moves to Nottingham Forest with the assistance he'll be getting from the likes of Morgan Gibbs-White, the former Tottenham player at the back, a lot of them there, I think it will be a perfect move for a player of his own caliber. Absolutely. Right, away from football, this says the Nigerian Wrestling Federation contingent at the just concluded 2023 Spanish Grand Prix in Madrid put up an impressive show by winning 2 gold and a bronze medal as part of the Wrestling Federation's preparation towards a successful outing in next year's Olympic Games in Paris. And of course, in the assessment of the wrestlers, President of the Nigerian Wrestling Federation, champion Daniel Igali, lauded the efforts of the trio as he notes that wrestling is turning out to be one of the country's best hopes to win medals at the Paris 2024 Olympics. I mean, he didn't lie right there. Now, champion Igali, while insisting there was room for improvement, commended the resilience of Mercy Genesis, Blessing Oburududu, and Esther Kolawole, who were earlier involved with Team Nigeria at the 2nd edition of the African Beach Games in Hammamet, Tunisia, where they won 3 gold for the country. Wrestling, of course, are doing pretty well when it comes to that federation. Now, just to conclude for the first half of the show, before we get on a break, I did talk about the fact that the Tigers defeated Mali in the ongoing African competition. So let's bring you details of that one. Now, the Tigers on Sunday came out with a win against Mali in the ongoing African competition. The Nigerian side, which got a wildcard to take part in the competition in Angola, started the game strongly and secured 20-9 in the first quarter of their Group B opener. Mali, who lost their first match on Saturday, came back stronger in the second quarter, but still lost 25-36, and the Tigers their domination into the third with another win, 48-39. Therefore, the Tigers wrapped up the game in the final quarter with a 62-56 win, and the Nigerian team will confront the host Angola in their next game. And with this win over Mali today, Nigeria surpassed their record at the 2019 FIBA African, where they played 3 games and lost all 3. Okay. So charity this begins at home, and we've done what is needed, giving you updates from the local scene. Now, as we said in our intro, that so much happened over the weekend, from the British Grand Prix to tennis to the 100 meters finals. Absolutely. Well, lineless also made it count there. But then at this point, let's go to break and give you all that happened from the world of tennis. And when we also come back, the big question, why was Victoria Azarenka booed? And what kind of response was that from Victoria? She said they had a drunk. Yeah, they were drunk. Stupid fans. We'll be back.